Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep today into a topic that's, well, it's truly shaping the future of almost every business out there. The incredibly exciting world of AI. And specifically, its rapid integration into practically everything, from crafting marketing campaigns to accelerating product development.
It really is everywhere now.
Exactly. But as AI becomes this essential, core infrastructure, a critical question emerges. What hidden risks are popping up? Especially when it comes to the data we feed these powerful systems. Today, we're going to explore what many experts are calling a growing blind spot, a really crucial issue known as data misclassification.
And our mission for you, the listener in this deep dive, is really to cut through all the jargon.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
There is. We want to help you truly understand what data misclassification is, why it's being called a compliance time bomb in this age of AI.
A time bomb, why?
Yes, and crucially, what actionable steps you can take to stay protected and compliant. Because this isn't just some dry academic term, believe me.
No, that's pretty serious.
It is. We're talking about very real, very tangible problems, like unknowingly exposing private customer data or maybe misusing sensitive internal assets. Our goal today is just to make these complex topics as clear and easy to understand as we possibly can.
Okay, so let's simplify this right off the bat. What is data misclassification at its most basic level?
Well, simply put, it's when data gets mislabeled. Or just as often, maybe even more often, isn't labeled at all.
Not labeled at all.
Exactly. And the real trouble starts when AI tools are basically left to guess what's sensitive, what's proprietary, and what's perfectly fine to use.
And I'm guessing they're not great guessers.
Spoiler alert, the research suggests they're not great at guessing, not without clear instructions.
Okay, let me give you some immediate, concrete examples of how this plays out, in the wild. Imagine a PDF just sitting there, buried deep in SharePoint somewhere.
Happens all the time.
Right. It contains untagged, personally identifiable information, PII. Now, suddenly, because it's not properly classified, it gets pulled right into a chatbot's training set. Or think about old sales notes, maybe, with confidential partner terms. If they're not classified, an AI could easily just treat them like open blog fodder.
Yeah, like public information.
Exactly. And here's another one. Support call transcripts. Maybe they're marked public. By default, sometimes that happens. If that's the case, they could very easily surface in customer-facing knowledge bases, completely exposed. The thing is, these AI tools, they move incredibly fast. They pull from massive data lakes and spit out content instantly, but they don't really pause to ask, hey, should I be using this?
And that's really the crux of it. What's truly fascinating here, or maybe alarming, is how AI supercharges these existing risks.
Right, so it's not a new problem, but AI makes it worse.
Precisely. It's not that data misclassification is some new phenomenon. It's been a challenge in data governance for years, but AI takes it to an entirely different level. The analysis we've done really breaks down 3 key reasons why this problem becomes so much worse with AI.
Okay, what are they?
First, their speed. AI automates decision-making at lightning speed. So if it acts on bad misclassified data, those mistakes don't just happen once. They scale instantly across countless operations.
Instantly.
Pretty much. This means a single misclassified data point can lead to, say, biased predictions or unjust automated decisions on a scale that's almost impossible for human error alone. It could impact thousands of customers before anyone even notices.
Wow. Okay, speed is one. What's next?
Second, we have volume. A single labeling error doesn't stay isolated within one document or one file. Remember, AI systems operate on immense data sets.
Right, the data lakes you mentioned.
Exactly. So that one error cascades. It propagates across models and outputs, spreading the problem far and wide, which makes containment incredibly difficult.
So it's like a virus for data errors.
Kind of, yeah. And third, there's the challenge of transparency, or rather the lack of it. AI often lacks clear traceability, what some people call the black box problem.
Ah, the black box. Heard that term.
Right. So if something goes wrong, if you have a data leak, it can be incredibly difficult, sometimes almost impossible, to find where or how that initial misclassification even started.
So you can't easily trace it back to the source.
Very often, no. There's a powerful analogy from the experts that highlights this perfectly.
Let's hear it.
If you're using AI without an updated approach to data governance, it's like giving a high-speed car to a driver with no visibility and no brakes.
Oof. Okay, that's a terrifying analogy. Just taking a moment to let that sink in.
It is stark, isn't it?
Yeah. The idea that a small tagging error can scale to a massive data leak or a biased decision in seconds, with maybe no way to trace it back, it makes me wonder, I mean, given that speed, is it even possible to catch these errors before they proliferate, or are we always just playing catch-up with AI?
That's a crucial question. And it really leads us to understanding how these errors creep in the first place, because prevention is absolutely key here.
Right. Better to prevent than react.
Definitely. While AI can amplify problems, understanding the entry points gives us, a fighting chance. What we've discovered points to 5 common ways data misclassification enters these AI workflows. And trust me, they're far more common than you might think.
Okay, let's walk through those 5, because knowing where things go wrong seems absolutely key to preventing them.
Absolutely. So first, there's a widespread lack of upfront data tagging.
Okay.
Most enterprises have massive stores of legacy data. We're talking spreadsheets, old PDFs, call transcripts, countless emails, you name it.
Decades worth sometimes.
Exactly. If these assets aren't tagged properly right at the moment they're ingested or created, the AI simply can't distinguish what's safe to use from what's sensitive. It has no internal mechanism to know that difference.
So it's basically just sweeping up everything in its path regardless of context. That sounds like a huge blind spot.
It is a huge blind spot, precisely. And that leads us nicely to the second point. Poor handoffs between teams.
Interdepartmental stuff.
Exactly. Think about it. Marketing pulls data from analytics. Product pulls from support tickets. Sales pulls from research docs. When there's no shared schema, no kind of common language or clear oversight during these transfers, well, data context gets completely lost.
Okay.
That means sensitive information might suddenly be treated as non-sensitive just because its original classification didn't travel with it.
That makes so much sense. It's like a game of telephone for data, where the message gets garbled every time it moves to a new person or, a different department.
Exactly. A perfect analogy. Third, there's a significant risk in training AI on open or hybrid data sets.
Hybrid, meaning public and private data mixed.
Correct. Many organizations fine-tune models by combining publicly available data with their own internal proprietary data. Now, if this is done without clear controls and strict separation, it can result in sensitive internal data inadvertently leaking into the AI's public output.
Leaking into the output. How?
It might show up in its responses or even just influence its inferred decisions in ways that expose something sensitive. It's a very subtle but dangerous form of exposure.
Wow. So an AI could essentially learn your company's secrets or specific customer data patterns and then, without realizing it, accidentally incorporate that into a public-facing response or analysis. That sounds like a nightmare scenario.
It truly is. It's one of the bigger fears. Fourth, we have what many are calling shadow AI experiments.
Shadow AI sounds ominous.
It kind of is. This happens when individual teams or departments decide to run their own pilots or connect third-party AI tools without going through formal IT or compliance review processes.
So going rogue a bit.
Sometimes, yeah. Even if their intentions are good, often they're just aiming for innovation or speed. They frequently bypass crucial classification and compliance checks. This creates unmanaged entry points for misclassified data to get into AI systems.
Shadow AI experiments. Yeah, that sounds a bit like rogue IT. Maybe just with better intentions. Are these usually born from, genuine innovation needs, or is it just teams trying to bypass bureaucracy?
Honestly, often it's a bit of both. They see a tool, they want to try it, maybe the official process feels slow, but those good intentions can lead to really serious unintended consequences.
Gotcha. And the last one.
And finally, the fifth point is weak or siloed governance. This is a big one. If your data governance strategy and your AI governance strategy operate completely separately or worse, if neither exist in a meaningful way, then misclassification is almost guaranteed.
Siloed governance. So the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing with the data.
Pretty much. There's no overarching strategy, no unified framework to ensure data integrity and proper handling across the board, especially when AI gets involved.
These are clearly real problems.
Yeah.
And maybe to underscore the urgency of proper data classification with AI involved, could we imagine a chilling hypothetical scenario? How might this actually bite a company?
Okay, yeah, let's paint that picture. Imagine an AI-powered customer service bot, right? Designed to streamline support interactions, launched by a large e-commerce company.
Pretty standard use case these days.
Very standard. The bot is trained on a massive data set, past customer queries, internal agent notes, public FAQs, the works.
Okay.
The problem arises when, let's say, Some legacy CRM notes containing sensitive details about customer payment disputes, maybe even personal health-related product queries.
Ooh, sensitive stuff.
Highly sensitive. Let's say those notes were misclassified as just general chat logs during data ingestion years ago. They were given a generic customer interaction tag rather than confidential or sensitive PII.
Because maybe that detail tagging didn't exist back then.
Exactly. Or it wasn't enforced. Now, because of this misclassification, the AI bot, in its eagerness to be helpful and provide comprehensive assistance.
Which is what it's programmed to do.
Right. It accidentally pulls and reveals a customer's entire sensitive purchase history, including maybe those payment disputes and personal health queries, to a different, unrelated customer who just asked a generic question.
Oh, wow. That's terrifying. That's not just an efficiency issue. That's a direct privacy breach. That's a compliance nightmare. Probably a huge PR disaster waiting to happen.
Exactly. That kind of direct impact, amplified by AI's speed and its uncanny ability to synthesize disparate data points, highlights why classification isn't just, a best practice, it's a critical defense.
Yeah.
It truly drives home how vital data classification and governance are, even without AI. But you add AI to the equation, and that governance becomes not just important, but absolutely non-negotiable.
So the foundation has to be solid before you build the AI house on top of it.
Perfectly put. Whether you're training large language models or deploying automated content generation, untagged and misclassified data puts everything at risk, from legal exposure and hefty fines to serious brand damage. You might think AI could solve your data mess, but what this scenario reviews is that it often just amplifies it unless you get the basics right first.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for you, the listener, right?
Mm-hmm.
What can you actually do about this? We've laid out the problem, how AI makes it worse, and where it creeps in. The big question now is, what do we actually do? Because just throwing more software at it probably isn't the entire answer, is it?
No, definitely not.
The core message seems clear. Avoiding the risks of data misclassification really starts with structure.
You're absolutely right. It's not about just buying another piece of software, though tools can help. The recommendations we've examined, they outline 5 actionable steps for building what they call an enterprise-ready approach to AI data governance.
Okay, actionable steps. Let's hear them. What's number 1?
First, establish a cross-functional AI council. And critically, this isn't just an IT committee.
Right, it needs broader input.
Absolutely. This team needs to include leaders from IT, legal, data governance, compliance, marketing, security, basically, all the key stakeholders. Their central goal is to define clear standards for what types of data can and cannot be used for AI, and then this is key: ensure those rules are actually enforced across the entire technology stack.
Enforcement is key.
Yes. It's crucial that this council focuses on oversight, ensuring policies are living, breathing documents that are actively followed, not just on writing policies that sit on a shelf.
Okay, so it's about getting everyone on the same page with legal and compliance baked in from day one, not tacked on as an afterthought. Makes sense. What's second?
Precisely. Second, standardize data classification policies. Your policies need to clearly define what constitutes sensitive data, restricted data, regulated data, PII, PHI, financial info, trade secrets.
Get specific.
Very specific. They should specify what tags or labels must be applied, ideally at the point of intake or creation, and detail how that critical metadata should travel with the data across all systems.
Metadata travel. That tackles the handoff problem.
It helps, yes. And importantly, these policies must apply to all types of data: structured, like in a database; semi-structured, like a JSON file or log file; and unstructured, the tricky stuff, like PDFs, emails, videos.
Okay, that seems like an enormous undertaking, especially for organizations with, decades of legacy data just sitting there untagged. Is there a common pitfall most companies stumble on first when they try to implement this kind of standardization?
Absolutely. The biggest pitfall is trying to boil the ocean, trying to classify everything manually all at once. It's overwhelming.
Analysis paralysis.
Exactly. The key is to prioritize. Start with your most sensitive data categories and your highest risk AI applications first. Then build out and scale from there. You have to be pragmatic.
Okay, prioritize and scale. Got it. What's number 3?
Third, embed classification into workflows. This is about making data classification a default, integral part of how data is created, stored, and shared, rather than making it a reactive audit task that you try to do much later after the fact.
Build it into the process.
Yes. Use automation where it makes sense. Tools can help here with initial tagging based on patterns, but always pair automation with human review, especially for high-risk or high-impact data. Humans still have a vital role to play in discerning nuance and context.
Okay, so it's not an afterthought. It's built into the process from the very start. That feels much more preventative, less like constantly cleaning up messes.
Exactly. That's the goal. Fourth, audit AI systems regularly. You can't just set it and forget it.
Constant vigilance.
Pretty much. You need to set up recurring reviews to ensure that AI tools are consistently using data appropriately. This includes verifying their training data sources, where did this data actually come from, reviewing outputs for any signs of leakage or overreach, and confirming system access levels, who can actually touch this data.
And who should be involved in these audits?
Good question. These audits should involve both technical experts who understand the AI systems and compliant stakeholders who understand the rules and risks. You need that holistic view.
That proactive auditing sounds critical. It's kind of the constant check on that no visibility and no breaks problem you mentioned earlier.
It is, absolutely. And it builds continuous feedback loops for improvement. And finally, number 5, educate teams on data boundaries.
Education, okay.
And this isn't just for the developers or the data scientists. You need to train everyone from marketing to sales to support anyone who touches data or might use an AI tool.
Everyone needs to understand the rules of the road.
Precisely. Train them on what types of data require protection and how misuse can inadvertently happen in AI workflows, even with good intentions. This comprehensive training builds a culture of accountability across the whole organization and helps catch potential misclassification early, hopefully preventing larger problems down the line.
That's a fantastic breakdown of truly actionable steps, thank you. It really highlights that the immense power of AI, to drive efficiency, insight, growth, it's undeniably there.
Yeah.
But as we've seen today, that power is only truly realized and maybe more importantly, safely utilized when the data it touches is properly managed.
Indeed. And to reiterate, misclassified data doesn't just slow things down or create minor inefficiencies. It creates significant legal exposure, it leads to potentially serious operational disruptions, and it causes long-term damage to customer trust.
Yeah, trust is hard to win back.
Very hard. If your organization is scaling AI without seriously addressing data classification and governance, you are, quite simply, flying blind into a compliance storm.
Strong words, but probably accurate.
But the good news is, as we've discussed, the fix starts with structure. It's about getting organized, build that cross-functional council, define the rules clearly, embed classification into how you work, audit the systems regularly, and train the teams constantly.
Structure, not just software.
Exactly. And maybe for you, the listener, beyond this deep dive, perhaps take a moment to consider the data you interact with in your role, even casually. Where might misclassification be lurking in your own sphere of influence? And what questions might you start asking to ensure proper data boundaries are actually in place?
That's a truly thought-provoking question to leave us with, a call to action for everyone listening. Thank you so much for breaking this down for us today.
My pleasure. It's a critical topic.
It certainly is. Thanks again for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden risks and, crucially, the solutions for AI data governance. Keep asking those questions and keep exploring.